The clock is ticking on the immigration system as we know it, and right now we are witnessing the most aggressive digital transformation in the history of Polish residency law, because the Department of Foreign Affairs has just released the final technical roadmap for the new MOS portal, and it is a total game changer that hides a massive amount of uncertainty behind a clean interface. If you are living or working in Poland, your entire future is about to be migrated into a strictly electronic environment where the old safety nets are being removed one by one. And the first thing you must realize is that the window for the reliable paper-based system is closing fast, with an absolute deadline at the end of April of this year. The government is issuing a direct warning that if your legal stay expires between middle of March and the end of April, you must not wait for the new portal, because any application sent by mail after the new system launch will be legally ignored and treated as if it never existed, regardless of your postmark date. We are entering a reality where the digital stamp is the only law, and this transition is fraught with technical black holes that the official Q&A fails to address with any real certainty. Let's look at the architectural shift of the Moduł Obsługi Spraw, MOS, because it is designed to isolate you within your own digital identity, where you and only you can initiate your residency through a trusted profile or a qualified signature. The new regulations are crystal clear. Your legal representative or agent is strictly forbidden from accessing your account or, for example, knowing your login credentials for login.gov.pl, because the state now views your immigration data as part of your sensitive national security profile. While the department claims the system is intuitive and designed for self-service, they are simultaneously shifting 100% of liability onto the applicant's shoulders. In the old system, a minor typo or misunderstood question could often be corrected during a physical visit to the voivodeship office or through a formal written supplement, but in the new MOS environment, the moment you hit the submit button, the file is locked and synchronized across national databases, with no possibility of editing or retracting a mistake made in hassle. But the real crisis emerges when we look at the mandatory integration of third parties, because for the first time your residency is no longer just in your hands, but in the hands of your employer or your university through a fragile digital link. According to the new protocols, when you fill out an application for a work permit or a student visa, you must provide the email address of your employer or your dean's office, and the system will instantly fire off an encrypted link to that person. If your employer is busy, if your university's international office is understaffed, or if that email simply lands in the spam folder, your entire application is paralyzed, because the MOS portal will legally block you from submitting your case until that third party signed their part electronically. This creates a terrifying bottleneck where your right to stay in Poland depends on the digital responsiveness of a corporate HR department or university clerk who might not even be aware of the 30 days expiration window for that specific link. What happens if your employer refuses to sign digitally? What happens if they encounter a technical glitch on their end? The official documentation offers no plan B for these scenarios. We have already seen the fragility of this infrastructure, because as recently as February, the national electronic signature systems suffered a total collapse for an entire week due to the introduction of new governmental accounting software. Imagine being on the final day of your legal stay with your visa expiring at midnight, and the national login system goes down or the signature portal freezes. The government states that if the system is officially unavailable, you have a 3-day window to apply after the fix But who defines what constitutes a system failure versus a user error? If your internet lags or your specific browser crashes on the deadline day, you are legally out of options and facing an administrative nightmare that could end in a deportation order. The technical requirements for attachments have also become a minefield of precision, where a single digital photo that doesn't meet the exact pixel dimensions or a scan that exceeds the strict 10 megabyte limit per file could cause your submission to be rejected before a human being even sees it. You are being asked to become a digital compliance expert overnight, while the authorities openly admit that the new system won't even allow you to communicate with the office or track your detailed case status beyond a simple send notification. The traditional stamp in the passport that provided a physical sense of security is being replaced by a digital certificate that you must download and print yourself. A document that only becomes valid after a clerk manually verifies your digital submission, which could take weeks of silent waiting. This is exactly why the month of April is the most critical period for every foreigner currently in Poland. We are advising every single one of our clients at Residency to bypass this digital experiment for as long as possible by submitting their applications through the proven paper-based system before the end of this month. If you submit now, you secure your status under the old rules with the old protections and the physical evidence of your application. If you wait for the convenience of the MOS portal in May, you are volunteering to be a test subject in a massive administrative experiment where the stakes are your job, your home, and your right to live in the European Union. We are seeing a massive surge of anxiety because the department's answers to critical what-if questions are dangerously vague. What if you make a mistake in your income report that contradicts the ZUS database? The system might not flag it immediately, but it will record it as a permanent inconsistency in your file. What if you need to change your employer or your address after submission? You cannot do it through the portal. You have to revert to the old paper-based letters sent outside the system, which completely defeats the purpose of a digital-only transition. The complexity hasn't been removed, it has simply been hidden behind the screen where you can't see the gears turning until they grind to a halt. At Residency NGOs, our role has shifted from being your representatives to being your strategic defense in the new high-stakes environments. We are currently performing deep dive audits for our B2B partners and individual clients to ensure that every piece of data is system ready before the locks turn. The transition to MOS is an evolution that demands a level of technical precision that most people simply are not prepared for. Do not let yourself be caught in a week-long system outage or a silent rejection because you understood the question differently than the algorithm did. This is the call to action. Audit your documents today, check your expiration dates, and if you have the chance to apply under the current stable system before the end of April, do not hesitate for a single second. The future of immigration in Poland is digital, but that doesn't mean it is safe, and we are here to ensure that your transition into this new era is handled with the professional gravity it deserves, because in a world of automated decisions, your only protection is absolutely flawless preparation.